Imagine you're sitting in your living room after a long day of work. You might even think, if I earned a little more, everything would be easier. But for that, I'd have to change jobs, start a business, do something huge. And this is where the turnaround begins. True financial transformation doesn't happen when you make a giant change, but when you discover that you don't need to turn your life upside down to start growing. Many people believe it's only possible to earn more if you start a complex business, hire people, become an entrepreneur overnight. But reality is quite different. Most people who start improving their lives do so while still in the same job, the same routine, the same salary. What changes is not the job. What changes is how they handle the money that already passes through their hands every month. Think of someone walking with a weak flashlight in a dark room. This person thinks they need a giant spotlight to see better, but actually they just need to adjust the flashlight they already have. Adjusting the focus. That's what increases your income with what you already have. When you understand that you don't need to throw everything up in the air, the weight decreases, the pressure disappears, and what appears in its place is clarity. I can grow, even from here, even now, without changing everything. Now imagine another scene. You wake up early, work all day, come home tired, and think that to improve your life, there's only one path: work even more. As if financial growth were a prize delivered only to those who live exhausted. But this is one of the biggest illusions that many people carry for years. The truth is, it's not the number of hours that makes you grow, but what you decide to do with what you already receive. Think of this like someone trying to fill a leaky bucket. No matter if you put more and more water, if the bucket has holes, the water goes away. And with money, it's the same. If you earn more, but don't learn to use it well, the result is the same. Everything evaporates. Now imagine you start plugging these holes. Small, unnecessary expenses, impulse purchases, automatic habits you don't even notice. Suddenly, the same money starts yielding more, without working more hours, without changing jobs, without giving up your peace. And this is where many people finally understand. Growing financially begins in how you manage, not in the amount you earn. When you organize, observe, plan, and make conscious choices, the money that was escaping before starts to stay. And it's this silent, almost invisible movement that creates the first push in your financial journey. The one that changes everything without you having to sacrifice your entire life for more working hours. Imagine someone hands you a treasure map, but this map is full of strange symbols, confusing drawings, words you've never seen in your life. Most people look at this map and think, if investing is this, then it's too dangerous for me. And that's exactly how many view the world of investments. Complicated, distant, full of risk, almost like a jungle with wild animals about to attack. But here's the big surprise. Growing with investments doesn't start with high risk. It starts with small, safe, and easy steps. The truth is, you don't need to put your money into something you don't understand. You don't need to bet on something that makes you insecure, and much less embark on fads or promises of quick gains. Think of simple investments like those easy to care for plants. You put a little water, leave it in the right place, and day after day, without effort, it grows. It's not the type of plant that requires professional care. It's the one anyone can keep alive. That's what basic investments are like, low risk and easy to follow. Even starting with little, you already build discipline, learn how money grows, and realize that investing is not a seven-headed beast. It's just a process, a simple, clear, and accessible process. Over time, you gain confidence, and when confidence arrives, fear decreases, and when fear decreases, you make better decisions. The important thing here is not the size of the investment. It's starting with something you understand, and that doesn't give you a headache, because those who try to run without knowing how to walk stumble, but those who take small, firm steps advance far. Imagine a person standing before an enormous mountain. They look at the top and think, to get there I need to take a huge leap. But that's impossible. And it's exactly here that most people give up. They look at the size of the goal, pay off debts, save money, invest, improve life, and find everything too big, unattainable. But what no one tells you is this: no one climbs a mountain with a single leap. It's conquered with small but constant steps. Now imagine this same person takes one step, then another, then one more. From afar, almost no one notices the change. It doesn't appear on Instagram, it doesn't make the news, but something silent and powerful is happening. They're climbing. It's the same with your finances. Saving a $50 per month might seem like little. Writing down your expenses might seem too simple. Avoiding an impulse purchase might seem useless. But these small movements repeated every day are exactly what build the big change. Think of a river. It doesn't cut stone because it's strong, but because it runs non-stop. Small steps, repeated with consistency, have gigantic power. And the most interesting part, each small step creates another. You see, you manage to save $50, so you feel motivated to save $60. You see the balance growing, and the mind opens space to believe in bigger things. The change doesn't happen overnight, but it happens. And when you look back, you realize you're much further than you imagined, precisely because you didn't try to jump the mountain, but rather climb it, one step at a time. If up to here this video is speaking to you, if deep down you feel you really need to change something in your financial life, then take advantage and like this video and subscribe to the channel. The perfect moment only delays your results. Imagine someone standing at the front door, looking at the sky. They want to walk, want to start a new phase, but think, I'll wait for the weather to improve. Maybe tomorrow it'll be clearer, maybe next week, maybe next month. And so, day after day, they stay still. Not because they don't know what to do, but because they're waiting for the so-called perfect moment. This one that honestly never comes. And that's exactly what happens to many people when it comes to money. The person says they'll start when they earn more, or when there's more left over, or when they pay off everything, or when they have time, or when they learn everything about finances. And without realizing it, they spend months, sometimes years, trapped in a cycle they created themselves. Procrastination doesn't shout, it whispers. Whispers, wait a little longer. You're not ready. Leave it for later. But while it whispers, time passes. And opportunities too. Imagine a person trying to open a heavy door. They push, 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 but the door doesn't open. After a while, they start to think, maybe this door isn't for me. And by believing this, they stop trying. Now here comes the revelation. The door was unlocked the whole time. The problem wasn't the door, it was the belief. With money, the exact same thing happens. If you believe that money is rare, money only comes to others, I'll never earn more, or it's too hard to grow, your mind simply closes all possibilities. It convinces you that trying is a waste of time. It blocks you even before you take the first step. It's as if inside your head there existed an invisible guardian saying, don't enter here. It's not for you. But none of this is real. People who grow financially aren't necessarily the smartest, the luckiest, or those born with a silver spoon. They're those who, at some point, decided to change how they think about money. They started seeing money as a tool, not as an enemy, as something possible, not as something unattainable, as something that can be learned, not as a magical gift that only some have. When your belief changes, your attitude changes. And when your attitude changes, your life changes. It's almost like removing a blindfold from your eyes. What seemed impossible starts making sense. What seemed distant starts getting close. What seemed too big starts fitting in the palm of your hand. The first unlocking happens here, inside your mind, long before it appears in your pocket. Imagine you're walking on a long road. The sky is calm, but deep down, there's always that doubt. What if it rains? What if I stumble? What if something unexpected happens? It's exactly this kind of worry that makes many people walk through life afraid, stuck, always insecure, especially when it comes to money. Now imagine you're on the same road, but this time with an umbrella in your backpack. It doesn't matter if the sky darkens, because you know you're prepared. This umbrella is your emergency fund. Many people think they need to save tens of thousands of reais to start, and by finding this too big, they never start. But the truth is that $1,000 already changes your life. Yes, 1,000 reais. This amount, however small it seems, takes an enormous weight off your shoulders, because it protects you from small storms, an unexpected medicine, an urgent repair, a bill that appeared at the wrong time. And when these small storms stop scaring you, something powerful happens. Your mind relaxes, and when the mind relaxes, it sees opportunities you didn't see before. It's as if that constant noise of worry finally decreased. You start planning better, thinking better, deciding better. You feel more control, more security, more organization, and most importantly, with this minimum security, you finally manage to look to the future instead of putting out fires in the present. That's why the emergency fund isn't just about money. It's about peace of mind. And peace of mind is the fertile soil where financial growth really happens. There's a moment in life when it clicks. Earning more doesn't solve everything if money keeps slipping through your fingers. And it's exactly here that financial education changes everything. When you learn to control what comes in and what goes out, your money starts to obey. It starts having direction. It stops being a visitor and becomes an ally. People who grow financially aren't those who earn more. They're those who know what to do with what they already have. It's like turning on the light in a room where you always stumbled. Suddenly, everything that seemed confusing starts making sense. You notice where you're spending too much, where you can adjust, where you can improve. You gain clarity, focus, and strength. Financial education gives you something no one can take from you: control. And when you have control, you decide, you choose. You create your path. It's liberating when you understand this. Life stops being a reaction to bills and becomes a conscious construction. Each choice transforms into a brick of a more solid future. And the most motivating part? Anyone can learn. Age, income, past, or level of knowledge don't matter. Financial education isn't a talent, it's a skill, and skills can be trained. When you learn to take care of the money you already have, you open the doors to receive more. Because those who manage little well are prepared for much. Every beginning feels heavy. The heart races, doubt appears. The mind tries to convince you to wait a little longer. And that's exactly why the first step is so challenging. Not because it's hard to do, but because it's hard to decide. But there's a powerful truth. Those who take the first step activate a force that was asleep: momentum. From the moment you start, something begins to change inside you. It's almost as if your mind said, if I manage to start, I can continue. And this transforms everything. Saving the first $10, organizing the first day of expenses, watching the first video about finances, opening the first investment. These small movements create rhythm, and rhythm creates consistency, and consistency creates growth. The small step is never too small. It's the sign that you left stagnation. It's proof that you decided to take control. Many people wait for courage to start, but courage is born after you start. It comes from movement, not from waiting. And when momentum arrives, it pushes you forward. You start seeing progress, even if discreet. You start feeling proud. You start wanting to go beyond. The secret isn't in starting big, it's in starting. Because in the end, the first step is what separates those who only wish from those who truly transform their own lives. Fear tries to convince you that you should only start when you know everything, but this is its biggest trick, keeping you still, frozen, stuck in the same place. The truth is simple and liberating. No one gets everything right at the beginning. And those who truly grow aren't those who never make mistakes. They're those who allow themselves to learn while walking. Each decision you make brings a new experience. Each adjustment you make leaves you more prepared. Each small attempt gives you more clarity, more maturity, and more confidence. Making mistakes is part of the process. Paralyzing is what destroys the process. People who prosper understand this deeply. They take steps, even with doubts. They correct the course when necessary, and above all, they keep moving forward. When you understand that error isn't an enemy but a teacher, fear loses its strength. Life becomes lighter, money becomes something simpler to deal with, and the path to prosperity stops being a mystery. It becomes a journey of evolution. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be constant. You need to allow yourself to try. You need to act, even with fear, because it's action that opens doors. And it's these doors that change destinies. If this video spoke to you, if it awakened something inside, if you really feel it's time to change your financial life, then leave your like and subscribe to the channel. This helps this content reach more people and keeps you always close, following the next steps of your transformation.